This channel is for immature audiences only. It is not for children, only for childish adults. We might play some video games that kids also like, but we say words like fuck and shit with alarming frequency and make crude, inappropriate, and morbid jokes all the damn time. Level 0 NPCs assumes no responsibility if your idiot spawn watches this and gets traumatized.
Hey everyone!
I'm so glad that that's the intro of this, our final episode of The Crimson Diamond.
It's a mailbag and bonus episode in which we are also going to be showing off the bad kitchen conversation under some guidance from Julia.
It's just it's a nice way to end the series off. Just have everyone upset with you as you leave. I think it's for the best.
Yeah, just to see how we could have done this bit. I thought about going back all the way back to this point when we were, when we threw the investigation with Murdoch, but we'll do this a little out of sequence. So
okay,
better make some new notes.
Yep, some bad ones.
Okay. So, did Margot have an accomplice? Does this matter? Is there anything?
I can't remember. You could say no because that's incorrect. I suppose you could say no.
No. You want to read the lines?
Oh, I think Margot acted alone. Who is the imposter?
Who was the imposter? Kimmy.
Yeah. It was odd that her map had the Sulak circled, which was the target of sabotage tonight. Also, Kimmy was sketching a bridge that looked a lot like the bridge we crossed in the train on our way to Crimson. Not to mention, Albert and Kimmy had that strange confrontation in our bedroom. And Kimmy was lurking in the woods at night. She claimed to be looking for owls.
Was Kimmy's Trudel sabotage?
Kimmy seemed to be up to some unusual things. I wouldn't mind an explanation. Maybe I should ask Kimmy about all this tomorrow at breakfast.
Evan Richards and Nathan Cardinal friends or enemies? Enemies, obviously.
Was Nathan trying to intimidate Mr. Richards into bequeathing his land and lodge to the Cardinals? Did Nathan believe that Mr. Richards would give Margot the lodge and lands instead upon his death? Nathan and Albert had a clandestine meeting at the boathouse. Nathan had paid Albert for a mineralogical report that concluded the lodge and lands didn't contain diamonds. He even said he didn't care if there were diamonds or not. That's fraud. That's Freud. He wanted to protect Crimson from becoming a mining town again. Maybe I should warn Mr. Richards tomorrow.
They're going to be so pissed at you.
What was Nathan trying to conceal? Is there a bad answer for this
I don't know.
one?
I don't think there's a bad answer for this one. So just
romance.
Romance.
That doesn't make any sense. Maybe I should try again. But I don't think there's any wrong ones. So you can just say garnets.
Garnet, garnets.
Darn it.
Margot.
Oh yeah, they
Margot
were
and Jack
definitely
having
an affair. Yes. Jack claims he and Margot were just friends, but I just can't bring myself to believe it. His fingerprints were on Margot's medicine kit, which indicated he helped her with her injections. But doesn't mean they weren't also having an affair. Mr. Richards has been through enough already. I don't need to dig into any of that. It's none of my business. Oh no.
What item suggests Nessa came to the lodge intending to threaten or harm Evan?
I don't know if there's any wrong answer for this either, so.
There's none. No item.
That face.
Yeah, probably
You
not.
got that right, but that's my best guess.
Yeah, no, but the curio cabinet? Oh. No, she didn't. She's like, nope. Sleepy.
Good
Next morning,
night.
feeling refreshed and ravenous. As you make your way down the upstairs hallway, you begin to smell the inviting aroma of coffee and bacon. You enter the kitchen and find the other inhabitants gathered around the table, digging into a hearty breakfast. You join in. Morning light is streaming through the small window, causing motes of dust to sparkle and dance in the light. Mr. Richards is slumped in front of his plate, eyes downcast.
This is going to be horrible. I can't wait.
Jack, you've already admitted helping Margot hide Nessa's ruby brooch.
Sure did.
You'd said before that you and Margot planned to sell the brooch to help pay for the lodge's upkeep.
Yeah, she was trying to lay claim to the whole place, but she never lifted a finger to take care of it, nor sent a dime.
You also said because of the state of things, you didn't see the point of executing that plan. But I think you should. What do you think, Mr. Richards?
So far the same.
Pampa to me. That would be a nice Vanessa to indirectly do. She certainly wouldn't intentionally do any good for anyone else.
And the Roby Birch to Jack.
Thanks, Nancy. Ha! Maybe I can get a new mop.
You mentioned that Nessa had it out for Margot, and this was Margot's way of getting back at her.
Yeah, but I figured it was because Nessa was afraid Mr. Richards would bequeath the lodge and the lands to Margot instead. Oh, she sure was. Nessa was dead set on making Margot go away so the lodge and lands would end up with her. Which they never were, of course. I'd promised all that to Nathan and his family, always and forever. Margot understood. I will admit worrying about the fate of the lodge and lands from time to time. But once I learned how much Margot loved it here too, just as it is, I worried less. But when I found that when that fisherman found that diamond, yeah, that was trouble. Nessa arrived and she recognized Margot's face from the old wanted posters. In a past life, Margot lived and worked up in Skagway during the Klondike Gold Rush. She was just a kid. She made some mistakes. Trusted the wrong people. Yeah, she told me all about that. Didn't work. When Nessa tried to blackmail her to leave Christmas.
Are you okay?
All right over there, Matt?
I'm fine. Nessa found another way to get the better.
Your old man voices are really taxing the old vocal cords today.
Falls and he clamps his mouth shut.
Having some trouble, yeah.
Kimmy, what have you really been up to here in Crimson? Oh, what do you mean? Well, to start, when you first arrived at the lodge, you were drawing in your sketchbook. You were drawing a picture of a bridge. It looked like the bridge we crossed on the train to Crimson. And later that night, that bridge exploded. You had the Sulak circled on a map. What were you up to? And Albert confronted you about his suspicions too, upstairs in our bedroom. Last night in the woods, you said you were looking at owls. I was. Something about you doesn't sit well with me. I don't think you were here just for the birds.
Kimmy stares at you, her mouth drawn in a thin, hard line.
I thought we were friends.
Kimmy looks away and refuses to meet your gaze again.
Nathan,
Nice.
I have to know.
Yes?
Are you even friends with Mr. Richards? Because I don't think you were.
Oh, is that so?
I overheard you and Mr. Richards talking in the study after dinner last night. It sounded like you were concerned about the fate of the lodge and lands, particularly how Margot figured into the equation. It could have been construed as intimidation. I was in the boathouse when you had your sneaky meeting with Albert.
You were? Where?
In one of the canoes. Anyway, that's irrelevant. You bought a phony report from Albert. That's Freud. I think you wanted the government to leave this land alone, so you could own it after Mr. Richards died.
You don't know anything about me. That's pretty clear. Nor do I care to spend any time correcting your false notions. Yeah, you're way off base, Nancy. Our families have been friends for decades, through thick and thin.
I have to know. Are there diamonds in Crimson?
Mr. Richards, Nathan, and Jack exchange meaningful looks.
I think you and Jack were picking alluvial diamonds out of the riverbank when I saw the two of you earlier tonight. I think Jack hides little diamonds in the bag of rock salt in the smokehouse. I grabbed a handful of salt and dissolved it in water. Some of the crystals didn't dissolve.
There are diamonds in Crimson. We have to check the river banks regularly for the ones that come down river. Over time, we've managed to extract most of the gems that are in the ground, but soil erosion also reveals them. Every so often, we gotta go looking for more than that appeared. They're easy to see by moonlight. Evan used to help us. In fact, he used to do it all by himself. Yeah, but I wore my back down, so it's now up to Jack and Nat.
It's a wonder they're confiding this in you because you've been so
Yeah, I know.
horrible to them this morning.
I don't know if I changed this better.
Yeah, until the fish swallowed the whopper for diamond, lucky duck fisherman, nothing but trouble.
My goodness, I see.
Nancy, we know your field work is very important to you. We certainly can't prevent you from divulging anything that may have been discovered here. We can only ask you to think about what that news could mean for Crimson. We like it how it is now.
I think Nancy will bring up the affair if Evan is dead. So
Oh,
that's just not
Oh, yeah.
Because she mentioned, like, at bedtime, she's like, oh, I don't want to, like, bring it up because, whatnot. So, yeah, that probably does happen. But just because even her, she won't do that. But see, Kimmy's not here. First of all, she didn't even come.
Yeah, neither is Evan. Oh, I guess Evan didn't come
Yeah.
either way, but
Thank goodness the bridge.
Repaired enough.
yeah.
Yeah,
Goodbye,
bye.
Nancy. Bye,
Bye.
Nancy.
See ya.
And they're not going to... See, they don't wave. That's it. That's it.
That's great.
I like because you've been kind of
Alright.
like a snoop. You've been playing detective and gathering fingerprints and stuff like that. And the ending that we got, everyone in the end was like, "Oh, I see. She was helping in her own way, odd duck though she is." And this is the ending where it's just like, no, wretched vibes all the way through. Just
Yeah. Nancy turned out just to be kind of a bag of shirts.
just a weird bad hang.
Just really, really likes putting her nose in things. Yeah. There you go. Alternate universe Nancy. Woo! All right. And that is the Crimson Diamond, everybody. Now
Amazing.
we're gonna sit here and enjoy the ride back to Ontario, and as we do so, I believe, well, why don't we start with there we go.
Yes.
We have a whole lot of speakeasy passwords.
So
to get
excited. I love these things so much.
Okay. Well, where did we leave off last time, everybody?
The mayonnaise, the
through.
mustard.
Mustard.
Did we leave off on mustard?
I believe so. What came after mustard?
Okay.
The
so we
scientific impossibility of infinite percussive mustard.
Yeah.
Okay.
There might have been something else.
There's always extra mustard when you shake the bottle. Right. Okay. That was the last one we did.
We had that.
Okay.
We got that.
Okay. Seinfeld trivia. Can't imagine anything. Okay. Yeah, don't wait for your dog to meow. Got that one too.
Mm-hmm.
We got that. Yep.
Yep.
Oh, okay. That was after the mustard?
Yeah, that was after mustard.
Okay.
Okay. Here's the next one. Here's the speakeasy password. The world
Time for speakeasy passwords.
The world is full of nice people. If you can't find one, be one.
Okay.
No comment. I don't know.
If
That's fine. I got nothing against that.
the two halves of that don't quite match up to me. The statement that if you can't find any nice people, be the nice person, I think that is actually good advice. The first statement that the world is full of nice people is somewhat refuting the fact that you are unable presently to find one.
Well, I think it's like the world's full of nice people. And if you somehow, through some fucking crazy coincidence, find yourself unable to find one, you can turn yourself into one.
I think better advice would
crazy
be
about this.
if you can't find any nice people, be one. I'd be happier with that as a statement.
That is like that's like the opposite, or sort of like a complimentary thing to like if everyone is around you is an asshole, you're the asshole.
Yeah.
If you can't find anyone nice, maybe the problem is not everyone else.
Maybe you're not being nice to people, so they're just not being nice to you.
I mean, I'm actually kind of with you, Alex. I think like the first part, just logistically, it's much easier just to remember one part of that.
Yeah.
Like, just do the second sentence. That's all you need.
Yeah, I don't think it
that.
contributes to the advice nor to its utility as a password.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like in general, as advice goes, if you're struggling to find any nice people, being nice yourself is a worthy exercise.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay.
Fairly worthy exercise regardless.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now we're on to the Speakeasy Password from May 22nd. The Speakeasy Password.
We have a short version, but I didn't put it on a
No, that's fine.
on a key. So
This one's amazing. It's just good every time. All right. A lot goes wrong before everything goes right.
No.
also not accurate.
Yeah,
Break
a lot
that
goes.
down.
Finish that.
A lot
Break
also
that
goes
down.
wrong before the fucking planet liquefies, right? Like,
What is that?
A lot goes wrong before everything goes right.
This is like, it's been
Also,
a long
everything
time.
can go right without other things going wrong.
yeah,
It's been
that's
a long time since I
ideally-
hated one so much.
that's a contemptible
Yeah,
statement.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, like if everything goes wrong, or if a lot has gone wrong, then everything cannot, by definition, go right.
And everything, nothing, like everything will not ever always go right. That's just not. That's refuted by the earlier piece of advice. Don't wait for your dog to meow, because it ain't gonna go all right. Like a thing or two might go your way, you'll get lucky now and then, but it ain't all gonna go right. That's nonsense, start to finish. Cover to cover.
So yeah, like I think what they're trying to say here is like in a situation where everything goes right, like in that theoretical situation, a lot has to go wrong first. But I don't think that's true.
No, that's not
The one
true
is not
either.
predicated on the other.
Yeah.
Honestly, just a lot of good planning
I
is usually what needs to happen for things to go right.
that's something you tell someone who's having a real bad time as a little hopeful.
It's like telling someone that everything happens for a reason. It's the sentiment that a person expresses when not that much bad stuff has happened to them. Let me tell you, someone who's going through an actual difficult time does not want to fucking hear that everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
And the good things that happen, you don't earn the good things that happen to you by going through the bad things. That's not how it works. Bad stuff happens for no fucking reason and for no fucking purpose. You don't earn the good things that happen to you by going through bad things.
The universe is chaos.
Yeah.
Well, so I knew you guys were going to love that one. I knew it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna walk back my earlier sentiment too. It is not necessarily important to be nice. It's important to be kind. The distinction can be very subtle, but
It's also true.
you'll run into lots of people who are nice but not kind. Your property manager or landlord is probably nice to you. That does not mean that they are kind. It likewise doesn't matter if you are nice. It matters whether you're kind. You may also find it helpful to be nice, and that might make somebody's day a little bit easier. But being kind is far more important than being nice.
Yeah. Would you guys like
Agreed.
Would you guys like the Speakeasy Password from May 29th?
Oh God, we have
should get
so
one.
many to go.
We're blazing through them.
Yeah.
Blazing.
We gotta, man. We still have two more. So here we go.
good, it's good.
Here's
Keep it
here's
going. Keep
here's
rolling.
here's number one. I actually like this one. I have to say, I actually kind of like this one. All right. Slamming the door doesn't make it any more closed.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a little like, don't wait for your dog to meow. In that it is frustrating. If you're in a mood to slam a door, you don't necessarily want to hear that, but it is approximately true. However, you can theoretically slam a door so hard that it opens the other way.
That's true.
Or becomes unopenable.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, like you could slam a door such that it is unopenable, and therefore it would maybe be a little bit more closed. Or if you're talking about the door as a thing that opens in one way, and you slam it so hard it opens the other way, and it is like reverse closed. But then I guess it has looped back around to being open.
It's open, yeah.
Yeah, that is
It's just
actually
open wrong.
It's less closed. Yeah.
Can
Yeah,
you repeat it again, Matt? Sorry.
Yeah, sure. Slamming the door doesn't make it any more closed.
Okay. Like metaphorically, I don't think it actually works that way actually, because when you think about closing a door on something, it means you're closing the door to an opportunity or whatever, right? Anything. But if you really slam it, then you could close something harder than just closing something. You know what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying. Metaphorically,
I mean, you
it
can absolutely burn a bridge, yes, if that's what you're going for.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many shades of closing a door, right? And so they could all mean different outcomes.
I took the meaning as literal, that if you are angry and you slam a door, that won't help. It won't change anything, right? Like, the door will still be closed. You won't accomplish anything by that.
But I think slamming a metaphorical door does make it more closed.
Yes.
I think you're right.
Yeah,
I think you're right.
I think that is a great point. If you're taking it in a more than literal sense, then. But also, I guess in that case, in the literal sense, if you're angry for like a good reason and you slam a door about it, I'm not going to be mad at you for slamming the door. I'm going to be like, well, damn, they were making some kind of statement with that door that they slammed.
I mean, unless you slam my door so hard it becomes unopenable, like that scenario, I might not be super happy.
It would have to be an incredible reason. Like if you slam my door so hard, I have to basically just dismantle it to get it open again. Like that is fine if you have an incredible reason for being angry.
Yeah. I do like that one though. I think it's
I do.
It's kind of, even when it doesn't make sense, I still like it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not bad.
All right. And then there is one that came in 9 hours ago.
So if you're going, this is the one you need.
This is the one you need if you're going tonight, tomorrow, or Saturday. All right. So if you're in town when you get this on Saturday when this comes out, if you're in Halifax,
9 p.m.
At 9 p.m. You can still get in. Goes till 2 a.m. Okay. You say
5 hours. Well, probably more like
less because you want to get some time in the speakeasy, right? You don't want to.
We've been at it for a little while already. Yeah.
Okay. Say, okay, here we go. It's not the miles ahead that wear you down. It's the pebble in your shoe. Ooh. It's not the miles ahead that wear you down. It's the pebble in your shoe.
I don't know why they didn't say it's not the miles behind you that wore you down or wear you down. Like, the miles ahead don't wear you down, of course, because you haven't done them yet.
Or even just the miles in general. It's true.
Yeah.
But
that's true. They should have just said the miles. It's not the miles that wear you down. It's the pebble in your shoe.
Yeah.
Agreed.
The other day, I was walking back from the grocery store, and there was a pebble in my shoe. And because I was carrying heavy groceries, it seemed inconvenient to stop and resolve that problem. So I just walked home with it, having a reasonably high baseline tolerance for discomfort, I guess. And I gave myself the craziest blister I've ever had. And it took just ages to heal. And I remember reflecting on it in the days that followed, like, what an outrageous consequence for such a small decision. So there is, I guess, something apt about the statement. Those miles will be unendurable if you do have a thing in your shoe.
I kind of identify with this. Like, I really feel it. Like, it's not the journey, it's the little shitty things along the way that fuck you up. Yeah.
That you could very easily do something about.
Yeah.
In this particular case.
Absolutely.
Handling something that you can do something about, and like addressing that kind of stuff immediately. There's a lot to do there. The miles ahead will certainly wear you down, though. That is sort of.
Yeah,
that's true.
They might be made metaphorically shorter by the absence of the pebble in your shoe, but they may nonetheless wear you down.
Yeah, I can tell you, like, even in comfortable shoes, when I had to walk from my office in Akihabara to my home in Nagarayama after the big earthquake, I was fucking tired. I was worn out. I couldn't walk for a couple of days because my legs hurt so much. So even in comfortable shoes, a lot of walking will still fuck you up. I'm glad I didn't have any pebbles in my shoe, though, to be fair.
In September, I am moving 1 kilometer to the north east of my current location, and I own maybe 5 heavy objects, and I'm considering conducting the entire move by putting 10 kilometers on a furniture dolly.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Just because, I think I could probably do it if I just took the day and did nothing but that, and it would be just ridiculously cheaper.
Yeah.
I mean, probably. I mean, monetarily.
Yeah. All it's going to cost me is my worthless time and effort.
You could pull a muscle or something. You could drop something on your toe. You could pebble in your shoe it again.
I mean, I respect that decision.
I don't. Don't do that.
I didn't say I was going to do it. I said I had been mulling it over as one of the options.
Right. I mean...
it's not that moving is ever, super fun and cool and easy. You're always going to have to, move the heavy thing.
Yeah. That's true.
The hardest part of any move is never my stuff. This is the first time I've moved where it's just my stuff that I have to move.
Yeah.
I think putting 10 kilometers on a furniture dolly would be easier than the last 2 moves that I did.
Yeah. Well, I wish you luck with that. I mean, yeah, man, I don't know.
I'm not saying I'm going to do it. I was just saying I think I could do it if it came to it.
You could do it. Yeah. I'm so... yeah, I don't know. I got no advice.
You just hate the plan so much.
It makes me tired just thinking.
The future miles or whatnot, right?
I guess theoretically I'm only putting 5 miles on the furniture dolly because I might carry the dolly on the trip back or something like that.
Yeah, that's true.
Ride it like a skateboard on the return trip.
Yeah. That's interesting. I feel like I should offer to help, but my God, do I ever not want to do that? I feel like I should help. Maybe I'll help. I can help.
The main 2 options are to do that or just hire movers, right?
Yeah, but I understand. If you want to save some money, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay. Keep me posted. What you're doing?
Yeah, absolutely.
Black Forest cake's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Specifically against Black Forest.
I know.
Are we segueing suddenly into some Crimson questions?
Let's go there.
Okay.
So yeah, Philip was a little stunned that we were so down on the Black Forest cake. I don't know. Do you know what I
Really?
hate?
What?
I don't remember. I don't remember how we felt about it, but clearly we were not down with it.
Were we
Well, I
shitting
think
on
we
Black
were-
Forest cake?
I don't think we were shitting on it by any right. I just think we were talking about our favorite cakes after various conversations in and around the Laura Bow games, and I think we sort of maybe weren't in the mood to put it in top 10 or something like that. I honestly do not remember the context with which the discussion around Black Forest cake came.
Was it not red? Was
it
it
sounded
not
like we were all kind of meh about it.
Was it not
Yeah.
Red Velvet that we were meh about, or am I thinking of a different conversation?
Red Velvet, we were certainly meh about. Yeah, like I do remember that far more distinctly than any conversation about Black Forest.
Yeah, Black Forest is one of those things, right? Like, so here's my problem with Black Forest. I don't like whipped cream on my cake
What?
as an icing.
Ooh.
I don't like it. It's fine. It's just put
fair.
some real icing on it. What is
Really?
this-
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna ice a cake, you should ice it with
putting
icing.
putting
like
whipped cream on a cake is like, oh, okay, that's cool, I guess. This is just gonna be
Couldn't
less.
find any icing, huh?
This is just gonna be less good than having icing, I guess. That's fine. Not everything has to be amazing, I guess.
Freshly whipped cream is like a freshly whipped kind of awesome thing, and like icing you could just have. It's like in a tube, whatever.
Yeah, I'm
freshly
kind of
whipped
with Julia. I like icing on a cake. There's many kinds of like, make a nice like cream cheese icing on a carrot cake or something like that. But I'm perfectly happy with whipped cream on a cake.
Putting whipped cream on icing on a cake, I'm fine with. Putting whipped cream on literally anything, I'm fine with. Whipped cream and berries, like, count me in. I put it on a freaking chocolate cake, and I'm like, okay, fine, I guess. Thank God this has cherries at least. You know, that's where I am at. That's where I'm at with the Black Forest cake. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's not like I hate it. I don't hate it. Guys, listen. Calm down. I don't hate it. But
Sorry, I'll put my gun away.
but I don't. But I,
For a
it's-
second, I wasn't sure which mat to shoot.
just cool out for a second. Black Forest is fine. It's fine.
But here's the thing, right? Is that I think if you're in Germany and you have a Black Forest cake, it's probably going to be out of this world, right? But if you're in North America and you're in a grocery store and you get a Black Forest cake, it's probably not going to be that great, right? Because the icing is
No.
kind of good, blah, the cherry stuff's not going to be that great, and the chocolate's not that good either. So that's where we're coming from. That's our perspective. The North Americans' perspective, for the most part, about Black Forest cake is not super positive because we don't get the super nice Black Forest cake often, right? That's my own experience.
I feel reasonably confident that I've never had a Black Forest cake.
It's pretty good. Like the cherry and the chocolate go really well together.
They really can.
I just find, and I like the chocolate shavings. I just find the whipped cream not cool. It's not a cool thing for me. I'm not down. You know, it's fine. Like I'll eat it. Like I'll never say. Well, I mean, you know, the diabetes might say no to a Black Forest cake, but like even more now that I have that, I might go, okay, maybe I won't have that. It's I find the whipped cream an experience that it's not really worth it for me. For the most
I'd
part.
take whipped cream over some kinds of icing, I think. If were the decision put to me.
I don't have a strong opinion either way, but I will say you don't put icing on other things, but you do put whipped cream on other things. I can have whipped cream in many
Same.
There are many vehicles
in many
for whipped cream.
contexts.
There's
Yeah.
something.
But I'm not going to put icing on hot chocolate. I'm not going to put icing
No.
on top of a cheesecake. You know, I'm not going to put icing on berries.
There's many
But,
cake
I will
adjacent
put whipped
things.
cream on all of those things. Yeah.
Like a nice warm piece of gingerbread with whipped cream on it.
Yes,
Uh,
perfect.
I
Perfect.
do like a gingerbread is like basically a cake. It meets most of the criteria of being a cake, but it has like to ice a gingerbread would be heinous.
Yeah, and I mean, like, hell, I will just shovel that stuff right into my face. But yeah, like if I'm gonna have a cake, I may as well have something that I don't normally in other contexts have. So I would generally aim my face at a thing with icing on it before.
Yeah, when are you going to use icing?
What cake you're gonna have?
But also, like, don't ever put icing on a gingerbread cake, right? Like, don't do that. But my God, there's something about the combination of that first bite of Black Forest cake. If you don't get any cherry on it and you just get like the whipped cream in the cake, it's like the disappointment chemicals for me just sort of just a little bit. It's like, oh,
I cannot with any confidence say that I've ever been disappointed having any cake, honestly, unless it like, sneakily had walnuts in it or something like that. And it was like, what the fuck are you doing here? But like, yeah, like I don't think I would turn down Black Forest cake if it was offered.
No, you don't do that. But also, like, it's not one thing that I've gone out of my way to get either. So there you know. Yeah. Maybe we just need a German one.
I think there's a possibility that if you have a well-made Black Forest cake, again, I'm speaking to someone who I don't think I've ever had Black Forest cake, but if you have a well-made one, maybe it is like the whipped cream on the worm gingerbread, where you wouldn't think of icing it if you had it sort of, made correctly.
Yeah, entirely possible.
Anyway,
I'm not going to rule out that, there might be some astounding Black Forest cake that we've never had. So
I will say, of the cakes that I've had that I truly did not like, where like you'll order a slice of cake at a restaurant and it's just horrible. It happens like every now and then. The thing that is most wrong with the cake is always the icing when something is wrong with it. The cake may be dry and bland and whatever, but the thing that makes it from just a disappointing piece of cake to, wow, that was awful, it's always the icing. Sort of like molar, achingly sweet, artificial garbage on top of like an already bland or oversweet or whatever. So if there's a type of cake where you can know with confidence that won't be the thing, that whatever's horrible about this cake won't be that because it doesn't have icing, there's a certain appeal to that.
All right.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Fair enough. I'll take that into account. It's fine. Maybe I got to try one again. Maybe it's been a long time. I just upon seeing a picture of a Black Forest cake again, I immediately like went through my entire childhood and teenagerhood and young adulthood, and I think I've maybe had Black Forest cake maybe like 4 or 5 times in my life. And admittedly, none of them were German, and some of them were grocery store, and some of them were like homemade, and some of them one of them was fine. It was a little fancier. But the whipped cream, I just can't. It's fine. Like, it's fine. It's fine. It's just
looking at a Black Forest cake, I don't see a good reason why it couldn't have icing or frosting instead.
Yeah. I mean,
If the only reason is tradition, I can see why that would be a non-starter for Matt.
Don't put like cream cheese icing on it. Like, yeah, Fun for Algernon mentioned that's a bad thing. I agree. Don't do that. But yeah, don't put they sort of had a discussion about this in cream cheese on, no, don't do that. But like, you could do something, man. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a little shit princess about this. Philip
You're
also
allowed
said
to not like a type of cake.
I know, but I do like it. I just, it's not my first choice. Philip also said a UK colleague of mine confirmed that they often take optional non-whipped cream with their cakes. Is that a thing where you're from? So like just like cream, like heavy cream dumped on their cakes? Oh man.
My
What are they doing
Mum's-
in the UK?
My mum's mum, one of the family recipes from that side of the family, was what they called a blueberry pudding, which is an old-fashioned sort of pudding where it's like almost like a bread pudding with blueberries in it. And the way that you eat it is hot out of the oven. Take a square of it, you put it into a bowl, and you pour milk over top of it, and then you wolf that shit down because it quickly becomes an ephemeral experience because it is going to turn into a featureless, sweet, lukewarm sludge once those temperatures equalize.
Yeah.
You've got moments to hork that shit down while it is magical and great, and there's sort of a reaction happening between all the elements, and then it just becomes gruel.
Yeah.
And why I enjoy and appreciate that is probably hard to describe for a person who for a person who, if that's not your culture, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
It was they called it half-hour pudding because the idea was like you go out, you get a couple blueberries, we'd pick them right on the hill there at my grandmother's place, and then half an hour later it will be turned into this ephemeral dessert.
And I think that sounds pretty good. What I have a problem with is cold cream poured over a cold cake.
Yeah, cold cream, cold cake seems aberrant to me.
It does.
I have
Maybe
trouble getting
they
my head
warm
around
up-
that one.
Maybe they warm up their cake and then put stuff on. Either way, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I'm having trouble visualizing the context in which you take. Like, if it is just pouring cream over top of your cake, and it's not like a hot cake, then yeah, I'm not
It's
in
horrific. It's
on
horrific.
that.
Like,
Yeah,
it's just
yeah,
ruining the
that's-
texture.
that's not.
It's all soggy now.
I generally don't. Generally, not in every case. There are certainly some cases where it's fine, but like I don't like to add liquids to my bread products. But especially like just pure liquids, you know. But yeah, I don't know. Like maybe there's something else to it. I honestly don't know. Like, are they just like chugging heavy cream?
You know,
To wash it down?
it's possible that this isn't even a thing.
Yeah. Well,
UK,
or just Philip happened to have a pervert among his ranks.
yeah, UK listeners. Do we have any? I don't even know if we have one.
There are desserts around the world that consist essentially of a bread or pastry product suspended in a sweet fluid. This is a thing that exists. I
It
often
does happen, yeah.
when I'm ordering from a restaurant, I will try to get like something new, and I'll be like, oh, my favorite Indian place has a dessert special that they don't normally have, and I'll order it. And oftentimes it is some sort of fried bread donut kind of
Right.
thing,
Right. Not
suspended.
Yeah,
Well, potentially baked. I don't necessarily know how they make them, but some sort of pastry orb suspended in a sort of sweet syrup.
Oh, yeah, like
Syrup.
a gulab jamun or something
Yeah,
like
gulab
that.
jamun. Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't ruin the
That's good stuff.
texture. Like, the thing is with the cake, like, I guess I can imagine, I'm trying to think in my head how this could work. And I guess if you made like a dry cake and the cream is meant to rehydrate it, bring it back to life so you could actually eat it, maybe? Fine. Like, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
okay.
If someone hands me a cake and a pitcher of cream and indicates to me that the one goes with the other, I'm going to put cream on that cake and I'm going to eat it. And if it's not the best cake I've ever had, oh well,
I would take like forkfuls of the cake and dip them lightly in a bit of cream and then eat it. I wouldn't dump the thing on top of it.
I think that's acceptable.
Yeah, so using unwhipped cream on a cake, like heavy cream, is a common practice in the UK. This is the only thing I could find, though.
It's just straight up sloppy steaks, huh?
Yeah, it's used particularly on Victoria sponge cakes.
On a sponge
Um,
cake.
Like, so
I
it,
saw your face in your voice, Julia.
so it soaks it up. Okay. UK, you crazy kids.
Did you just make an I think you should leave
y'all
reference,
never
Luke?
made it out of the World War, did you?
Yeah.
Just,
I
just
can't.
poverty rations.
Honestly,
Even now.
I can't find anything about it online. I can't find a lot about it, honestly.
I'm not seeing
probably
pictures
'cause
of it. I'm not seeing anything.
Yeah, like it's really difficult to find anything. They say it's common, but like, is it?
It's probably illegal to take a picture of it. It's
Probably. That's true. It probably looks terrible.
My family's blueberry pudding recipe. I have never encountered its like before or since. I don't know. I've never heard anyone else tell a story about a similar dessert.
There is an Atlantic Canadian blueberry dumpling dish called blueberry grunt that my family used to make. That is like in like hot cream, basically. I don't know if that's particularly common, but it's like almost soup dumplings, but with like
God.
blueberries in them.
I'm seeing a picture now. Yeah.
See, that is a great segue to our next question for glory / Crimson question.
I told you that to tell you this.
Nice job, Luke. Did you plan that?
No, not at all. But I'm glad it worked out.
Yeah, right.
Let's have another Crimson question.
Okay. Fun for Algernon. Did the Nova Scotian NPCs, which I think is, you lived in Nova Scotia for a while, Luke.
I did.
Yeah.
I was born there.
Yeah, you lived there for a while. Ever do anything extremely stereotypically Nova Scotian, like drink beep, or dine at Ma Webb's, or season your food with Farmer John's summery savory?
Summer savory for sure. I think I responded to this in Discord when it came up originally, but my parents swear by summer savory. I think my mom gets summer savory, or when my parents lived in California, I think they got summer savory delivered, like brought up from our aunts and uncles when they came to visit and stuff like that.
Summer savory is a very 90s herb.
What do you do with it? What do you put on? What do you put it on?
Various things. Trying to remember like where it like took sort of front stage, but I'm drawing some blanks. I wasn't the one cooking with it, so.
Mostly like a savory kind of meat kind of stuff, isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a plant.
It's a melange. It's a spice mix, is it not?
It is not. It is actually a single plant from the savory genus. It was used for cooking during Roman times. And yeah, it's wild. What do you use it in? Summer savory is a traditional popular herb in Atlantic Canada, where it is used the same way sage is everywhere else. That's crazy.
Oh, wow. I've consumed summer savory. I've never cooked with it.
It is the main flavoring in dressing for many fowl, mixed ground pork. So yeah, they would use it instead of like
on
sage.
turkey
and in stuffing and in turkey and
for sure I've had summer savory and stuffing
for stews and fricot and meat pies.
Fricot?
Yeah, fricot. It's an Acadian dish.
Fricot.
Okay.
It's an Acadian stew.
Okay.
It's like a chicken stew that, you know.
Yeah, in stews with dumplings and stuff like that as well. Speaking of which,
yeah.
Also, I'm led to believe that rhubarb is not often used outside of Atlantic Canada.
Rhubarb's huge here. Yeah.
Oh no shit. Yeah,
Yeah,
rhubarb's the shit. I love that stuff.
My grandmother grew rhubarb right, in her garden next to her house, and we would make rhubarb pie all the time. It was like one of the most consumed by the Rideout family pies was rhubarb.
I was given to understand that rhubarb is a difficult thing to grow on purpose.
It is. It's also a very like inhospitable. It's almost like a root, and you have to boil the shit out of it before it becomes to break down the fibers to make it edible.
When you do grow it, you get so much of it. There's so much of it that
it grows in large amounts.
If you
an
know
intractable vegetable.
Yeah, when somebody grows rhubarb, you know it because they'll try to give it away to you.
Yeah,
you can eat rhubarb. You can eat rhubarb raw. You don't want to eat it in large quantities raw. It's like eating a green apple. You'll fuck yourself up good.
Yeah. It's tart. It has an almost like raspberry-like flavor though, but significantly more tart. And you do kind of have to boil the shit out of it to make it into a pie filling.
To turn it into something that is pleasant to eat, you got to cook the absolute shit out of that.
Yeah, when I moved to California as a kid, I know that certainly like people would be like, "What is rhubarb? I've never even heard of this stuff." It's like, "Oh, that's something you cook with? That just looks like a weed." Right?
It's like angry celery.
Yeah. It looks like celery. It's not something you would assume would be like a sweet.
It is
sour,
it's like
angry
red
celery.
Yeah. But we had rhubarb in BC too when I lived there. It was fine. It's around. It's around.
Maybe it's like a Canadian thing.
It might be a Canadian thing.
Down in the States, I don't think people consume rhubarb much.
That's
at all.
true. That's true. I have eaten at Ma Webb's. Of course, it's Mother Webb's, but the thing about Mother Webb's, it's a restaurant just outside of Antigonish, and when you drive to Cape Breton, the marketing for this was this old woman's face. If you go onto the Discord, I posted a picture of Mother Webb's face. And she has
the iconography of Mother Webb's.
The iconography. And then they have these signs where it says like Mother Webb's awesome food instant service. And every time I would drive by there, I would make this old lady voice. She'd go, "Come on to my place at Mother Webb's. I have awesome food." And then we'd pass it in the car, and as I'd get further away, she'd go, "Hey, you motherfucker! Come to my awesome food." And then we would go. We went. It was fine. Mother Webb's is fine.
It wasn't awesome.
It was fine. It was fine. It was good. It was good. I'd go again.
It was not awe-inspiring.
I mean, it's in the middle of it's in the middle of fucking nowhere, man. It's just like it's like the highway, and there's a restaurant just off the highway, and you're like, okay, here we go. It's Mother Webb's. I ran into a girl who went to high school there, and I was surprised because she was so far from home. It's like, hey, how you doing? She's like, oh, hey, I remember you. That's all. That's the whole story. But Mother Webb's.
You were asked a question about Mother Webb's. That was an appropriate story to tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mother Webb's. Anyway, if
the viewers don't like that story about you running into an old high school acquaintance at Mother Webb's, step up your questions, right? Like we're just telling the truth here.
Yeah.
I can't with confidence say that I've ever eaten at Mother Webb's.
I can with confidence say that I never have.
You'd have to go to Cape Breton a lot because it's on the way to Cape Breton. It's only on the way to Cape Breton.
Family in Cape Breton. So.
Yeah.
I don't ever need to go farther really than Pictou to visit family. So I don't think I've ever been to Mother Webb's.
No. Yeah, if you don't go past Pictou, you'll never get there. You'll never see it.
Probably my most quintessentially Nova Scotian. I have been to Cape Breton. I just didn't stop at Mother Webb's. Probably my most quintessentially Nova Scotian thing was having Pictou County pizza.
Oh,
yeah,
you need to explain that abomination.
I might have explained it on Discord already. So you have pizza crust. The pizza crust is fine and normal. And that's not the part to be concerned about. Right away, on top of that crust, you have what is definitely not pizza sauce. It is a brown soup stock based savory non-tomato sauce. Now, I can't break down for you all of the stuff that's in there because it's a particular type of soup stock that is then turned into a sauce somehow.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Alex, but I believe the crust is a little bit more, how do you put it? Like spongy biscuity, too. Like it's a little thicker and a little more...
I didn't observe it being outside of the normal gamut of pizza crust.
Right.
But it might be. I'm a fairly omnivorous person. So the next thing that's wrong about this pizza is that all of your non-cheese toppings, they just go right on top of that brown stuff. All that good brown savory stuff, pile them all on there. All your veggies, all your mushrooms, whatever. Your peppers and mushrooms, let's not go too crazy. This is Nova Scotia. So peppers, green peppers, mushrooms, all that good stuff. And then on top of that, glassy and unblemished is the cheese. The topmost ingredient. Your pepperoni, your green peppers, your mushrooms, all of that is just immersed in the quagmire of soup stock brown sauce. And then on top of everything is cheese concealing all that lies underneath it, like a layer of sort of like clay and asbestos covering nuclear waste, just kind of smooth on top of it, hiding all the shameful mysteries underneath. It's pretty good. There's a few places that purport to be the original place, and I've eaten at the one that is actually the original place.
Here's the thing about Pictou County pizza. Like, people who had it when they were young love it. It's made its way into Halifax. Like, there's a place in Bedford here that serves it. Kenny's has Pictou County pizza here, and it's wild.
You can get it frozen at the grocery store.
Yeah, you could get it frozen at the grocery store. I've had it. It is so far down on the list of things that I would choose on a pizza if I have to get it on a pizza night. Like,
you can get it at the Halifax themed restaurant in Edmonton, even though Pictou is not Halifax.
No, not yet.
Well, yeah, Blurs and Grafton, I think it's mostly just sort of Atlantic Canadian like pub food. But yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah.
Pictou County pizza, like my mom loves that stuff. I had it a few times as a kid and then a few times as an adult, and it's fine. I find the closer you go to its origins, the better it is. The farther you get from Pictou, the worse the Pictou County pizza is, which is not super surprising.
So what you're saying is, if I wanted to experience Pictou County pizza and my only option was Blowers and Grafton on White Avenue in Edmonton, I would probably not have a good time with that. I
ordered Pictou County pizza there, and it was complicatedly wrong. It wasn't terrible, but they kind of actually what they did is they made a normal pizza with brown sauce instead of tomato sauce, and that's just not the assignment.
Okay, so how are their donaires?
Their donaires are pretty authentic.
Edmonton, the Edmonton donaires were reasonably. I think a couple places probably did lettuce, but you could get one.
No,
that had
it's
no
just like onion, chopped tomato, and
okay, good.
Donaire.
So like anybody,
I recall the Blowers and Grafton restaurant had good donaires.
Okay, good.
Because it's very Halifax style.
Anybody who puts lettuce on their donaires, don't call it that. Call it something else.
Are dead to us.
The one thing about the donaire at Blowers and Grafton in Edmonton is that it was too easy to eat.
Oh, what?
An authentic. Well, it was a politely sized donaire.
They have a larger donaire that you can order, but yeah.
And maybe I just ordered a small one then.
And
I thought it was. It wasn't. It didn't weigh as much as a baby. You know.
Right. Yeah.
So
we had King Donaire, King of Donaire, the original Donaire place, did open a shop in Edmonton briefly on White Ave, close to Blowers and Grafton even, but they did not survive COVID, sadly. So
boo.
They're gone now.
So Julia had a Donaire.
I did
when you were in
It's
town
true,
with us.
you did.
That one was all right.
Mhm.
We were told that Randy's had one of the better ones, and it was fine. It was fine.
Yeah, needed more sauce.
Needed more sauce.
Yeah, it did.
It would
Agreed.
again.
You'd
Those
be
were
drowning in it.
no. Those were too easy to eat too. Like we were fine. I didn't even spill any on me.
I'm very dainty with my donairs. I do eat my donair with a fork.
Like,
But,
you could do
yeah.
that. That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. It should be impossible. Like if you've made a donair correctly, it should be almost impossible to eat in your car.
Yeah. Oh, I wouldn't even entertain the idea. I wouldn't even
Well, I should
entertain the
say
idea.
you can eat it in your car, but some of it will get on either you or the car.
You shouldn't care about your car if you're going to
Yeah.
eat it in your car. And for those of you who don't know what a donair is, and I'm sure we've talked about this multiple times, it is meat that is it is mostly hamburger. I think it is all hamburger
Yeah,
these days. I
well,
think it's all beef. Back in the old days, they used to
Yeah,
put
so
like, some lamb.
donair comes from doner kebab.
Yeah.
But some Turkish expat in was it Dartmouth or Bedford originally? I think it was Dartmouth. Basically was like, Canadians won't enjoy real doner kebab, so what I will do is I will make this out of beef and I will dunk it in condensed milk.
Yeah, so there's like they put condensed milk and vinegar and garlic in a sauce, and they mix it together, and it sounds like it would be just disgusting, but it's amazing. It's
Yeah.
amazing. And then you put that on the meat with onions and tomato, chopped onions and tomato, and wrap it in a pita, and it's transcendent.
Its
Good
inventor
stuff.
looked around at all their white neighbors and thought to themselves, "These people think black pepper is spicy. We can't.
Sadly, they were right.
We can't give them garlic sauce. They'll drop dead on the spot. Their feeble Canadian constitutions need this sweet jizzy goodness that we're going to put on this instead." And by God, they were right.
No, yeah, that's another thing. Donair sauce looks exactly like semen. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Like one for one. You know, you could put it.
Yep.
You could use it as that in a
Color,
as
consistency.
as a special effect. Except it's too sticky because it's all condensed milk, so it's really sugary.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, and so yeah, getting that's another Nova Scotian thing. I've had beep before, but very very rarely. Very rarely.
I think I had beep when I was a kid. I think you could get it when I was in like elementary school.
It
had its day.
They brought beep back a couple years ago, and everybody was like, "Yay, beep!" And then everybody had it and was like, "Oh,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Beep.
That's why it's not popular.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
why it went
beep.
away.
I don't think I've had beep.
yeah."
But it's been a long ass 35 years. Let me tell you.
It might have been after your time, honestly. Like I remember it being a thing when I was a kid, like elementary school age.
Yeah, it was definitely like an 80s and 90s thing for sure.
Oh yeah. I was no older than 11 at any point in the 90s. So
Wow, yeah. Farmers Cooperative Dairy of Nova Scotia. Distributed, originally produced in the 1960s, discontinued in 2010, temporarily revived in 2012. I didn't realize that it was specifically Nova Scotian. I guess that makes sense. But
I'd have had
Yeah.
every opportunity to have had it because I would have been traveling to and from Nova Scotia back then. But yeah, if I've had it, I don't remember.
It was water, sugar, a mix of fruit juices, orange, apple, apricot, prune, and pineapple. It had added citric acid, some orange pulp to make it seem more like juice, sodium citrate. It had canola oil in it.
and cornstarch
and cornstarch
Oh, God.
and coloring
to
and
thicken it up.
yeah. And that's that everybody.
Yeah, I remember it being like thicker tang.
There was a thickness to it. There was a thick tang. Yeah, it was a thick
Good
and
Lord.
tang. It was not.
I think I mistook it for having egg in it, but because there's a like a chick, a little yellow bird on the cart.
Yeah. One other Nova Scotian thing we did while Julie was down is we went and we ate. You guys got lobster.
Mm-hmm.
We went to a seafood restaurant out by
We
Peggy's
did.
Cove.
We did.
Yeah.
It was great. Yeah.
That was
Oh,
phenomenal.
yeah. Just absolutely anybody eating lobster. Lobster being for like the average man, and like the funny thing is my mom's uncle was like a lobster fisherman, so like to her lobster is like poor people food. It's,
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
I
great.
grew up on Grand Manan, and so like my dad would like he was a pastor there, so he'd just talk to the lobster fishermen and come back with like a shitload of lobster. I didn't realize until I got to the mainland that it was like tourist expensive food.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I need to get back there. I like you guys talking about all this Halifax stuff. It's like I need to have some of this awful pizza, and I want to have a disgusting beef that tastes like it has egg in it with that same consistency.
You gotta you gotta do the Cabot Trail too.
Yeah.
Go around Cape Breton. That's awesome. It's
Yeah.
so cool. Yeah. Next time you come down, we'll do it. We'll spend a
Yeah.
couple days and we'll go around the Cabot Trail.
That'll be so
Yeah,
perfect.
that'd be awesome.
Yeah. Okay, let's do it.
I'm looking at photos. I'm confident I've never had beep. This seems
No.
fucking alien to me. It's like the time you showed me Mask, Matt. And that was like, that's it's impossible that this existed.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
Mask is great. Mobile armored.
Beep came in it's a
Strike
soft
command.
drink in a carton?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you drink it in a carton because it's from farmers. The milk
it's
distributor.
It's not carbonated.
Oh, okay. It's a soft
not
drink in the
carbonated.
it's not a soft drink in the sense of a carbonated drink.
It's a soft drink in that it's not a hard drink.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, it is thick tang,
Ugh.
thick multi
Yeah,
fruit
basically.
tang.
That's what I
Yeah.
remember it as being
Yeah.
a thicker tang.
Yeah,
It
wasn't
doesn't- it doesn't-
super
Like
thick.
if you put too much tang and not enough water,
yeah,
but without the like cloyingness of it. I mean, it was cloying. Don't get me wrong.
It doesn't look
If memory
horrible
serves,
to
but-
look at in the photos, but it is alien to me. Nothing about the branding or the packaging is familiar remotely.
yeah. There's all kinds of Nova Scotian stuff that
Yeah.
like I lived in Stewiacke, which its big claim to fame was it was halfway between the North Pole and the equator. And also they found a mammoth skeleton, so they made a whole little
Yeah,
museum.
is that where the mammoth is? Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
I think I remember vaguely hearing about that they discovered it wasn't a mammoth, it was a circus elephant from the 1920s.
Oh.
I don't know if that's
sad.
true.
Fantastic.
So many reasons. It's like double, triple, quadruple sad, like different kinds of sad all together.
So many.
Yeah, if you're driving up to the Cobequid Pass, there's a big mammoth statue up on a ridge over the highway, and that's where you know that you're at Stewiacke and the what is that, a meridian, that middle point between the north and the North Pole and the equator.
You can stop there. They have a KFC, Taco Bell, and a Tim Hortons and a Dairy Queen and 2 gas stations
Oh.
and a Subway,
and a mammoth statue.
and a mammoth and a whole mammoth museum that may or may not have been based on a circus elephant.
Oh my god. We don't need to go there.
but I don't know if
Nova
that's
Scotia
true.
truly is the Florida of Canada.
then that you can go to Truro, and Truro is where I went to high school, and Truro has a rendering plant and several animal feed plants. So in the summer, it smells crazy. Smells crazy bad. and you have to go through all the farmlands. It's the milk jug of Nova Scotia. So it's all the dairy cows live way like in that area, and then so you're like.
But Truro is the hub point for traveling anywhere else in Nova Scotia, so you will pass through Truro if
you will pass through Truro,
but you likely won't stay in Truro.
Yeah, unless you went to high
Truro's
school
fucking
there.
city motto should be Truro. You're not staying here.
I have lots of good memories of Truro because I had to stay there, but I agree. You know,
Truro, enjoy your trip.
and then from Truro it would split off. The highway would split off. You could either go to Cape Breton or get the fuck out of the province. You get to choose one of the two. But you can't do both. You gotta once you commit to Cape Breton, you're done forever.
But
we'll
come back.
We'll do more of these. Maybe if we need another level 0 con.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We got another one. I got a question for the group. What is your opinion on karaoke? For some reason, I found myself participating. This is from Landor, by the way. I found myself participating in karaoke a lot these past few months during business trips and having a lot of fun. When I share with others how much fun I had, their reaction is extremely mixed, to say the least. A lot of people really hate karaoke, with the white hot burning of 1,000 suns. In summary, please argue about karaoke for my personal amusement. Warmest regards, Landon. And Fun for Algernon wrote, wouldn't it be funny if Matt hated karaoke? Oh, you died! And then he posted the clip from Police Quest 2 where I sang Toto's Rosanna with only the word Rosanna. Hold you tight, Rosanna. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, I'll go last then.
Oh.
So how do you guys feel about karaoke?
I don't enjoy like singing karaoke. I wouldn't say that I hate karaoke because I even like to sing in general. I just don't enjoy singing for or at other people, I suppose I would say. But also like I enjoy other people singing. So like karaoke in a context where you go someplace and people are singing karaoke and listening to those people sing. Sure. Yeah, that sounds great. The one time I went to karaoke, it was a super sketchy place here in town, actually. I went with my sibling Nat and some of their friends. And it was the sort of place where like you rent out like a room and it's just your group in a dark room with shockingly bad acoustics.
So
it's like real karaoke.
Was this in the basement of that little non-mall on Spring Garden?
Yeah, thereabouts anyway.
Yeah, I know this place. This is like, it's like Korean karaoke. Yeah.
So what was, I guess, good about that, I suppose, is that it's just you and your friends, right? So there's an element of, there's not going to be like strangers there that A, you have to listen to sing, or B, will hear you sing. That particular experience was abominable. There was like loose ceiling tiles that vibrated when we used any of the sound equipment. So just everything was buzzing and horrible. And the walls were super thin. So you could hear the people in the next room as clearly as you could hear your friends talking. So it was, that particular location was shockingly bad. The place was dirty.
Yeah.
The like everything, like it was one of the worst. It was not that bad of a night out. We had laughs, we had fun or whatever. It was one of the worst customer service experiences I've ever personally paid for.
Yeah.
I walked away thinking like that was maybe the biggest waste of money of my entire life. But I don't hate karaoke. I don't necessarily like singing in front of other people. But as a premise, yeah, sure, it's great.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Julia, how do you feel about karaoke?
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things where I also just really like singing in the car to like my little playlists and everything. So I like to sing aloud all the time. I do it pretty much every day. So that's fine. But like, and with karaoke, I've only really been to karaoke twice, and they work. Yeah, that Korean karaoke type of thing where you get a private room with your friends, and I had a really nice time doing both of those. I've never done the one where you're just in a bar doing it or whatever. And whenever I go to events, I always like want to see if I could go to do it, but I just always miss my chance, or it's just not around, or I'm not in the right place at the right time. So it's a little bit disappointing. But I don't know if I would want to sing in front of a bunch of other people like that. I don't think I would mind, and I'm not one of those people who's like, I have to be so smashed to do karaoke. It's like, I don't care. I don't care if people think I can sing or not. It's fine. It's not a problem I don't think I would have. But I wouldn't mind doing more of that, actually, because I do really enjoy singing and stuff. But I don't know if I'd enjoy watching other people sing that are not good at it. I don't know if I would enjoy that necessarily. So
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah. I get it.
yeah, because one of the times I went was with some like old college friends and stuff, and one of them would just yell into the mic as loud as he could, and that sucked. That was just unpleasant, So yeah, at least if people are making an effort, then that's fine, and so we could have a good time, I suppose. But I don't want you screaming into the mic, but it's terrible.
Yeah. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. All right, Luke.
Yeah, so I imagine it is reasonably well known that I lived in Japan for 14 years.
Yeah.
And including 5 years of university, 1 year of language training at a Japanese university, and then a 4-year degree. So I was there for peak karaoke time. It was one of the de facto destinations after university to go and hang out with your friends. Would be, a karaoke box. And like, it's interesting that y'all are describing it as sort of Korean. I'm pretty sure they imported it from Japan.
They absolutely
and the private
did.
Karaoke
They absolutely
room
did. The one
is very much a Japanese thing.
It sounds like a Japanese word.
The one in
It is, yeah. Karaoke is Japanese.
the one Alex went
that's a
to
word.
is very specifically a Korean one. That's the only reason I know
Yeah,
it.
and I'm not surprised by that. Like, it's also very popular in Korea.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I think when I first met my sister-in-law, we went to karaoke in Korea.
Yeah.
So yeah, like it's just popular all over East Asia and a lot of the rest of the world. But yes, I went to karaoke frequently. I'm not a drinker, so I definitely cannot say that I'm the kind of person that has to get drunk to sing karaoke. Went there for university functions, went there with professors in university even from time to time. Have done it both the private box and at the bar. And I even had a few what are referred to as multi-neta, or songs that you kind of specialize in, that you sing, that you practiced enough that you would be good at it in karaoke. And so absolutely, I'm a fan. I like karaoke. You don't really get to do it very often, and most of the songs that I like practiced up to the point where like I was really confident in them in karaoke are Japanese, and therefore hard for me to like find to sing in North America. But I don't dislike it at all. And another fun fact about me is one of the first games that I worked on was Karaoke Revolution American Idol. Way back when I worked at Konami as a QA tester.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I'm in the credits, but I was sort of additional testing on that team. We were doing Shaolin Showdown in the next room, but they needed a lot of different voices to test for obvious reasons. So
That's pretty cool.
Totally. I like karaoke. Karaoke's fun.
Awesome.
Sorry, we're not arguing here, guys. I know that someone was hoping specifically that we would have some kind of debate over whether we liked karaoke or not. But I think, yeah.
I try not to dive like too deep into cynicism. Like, I'm a grouchy guy and stuff like that, right? Like, I don't really like singing in front of other people, but also like music and singing are like a beautiful human thing.
Yeah.
Like, I described that experience as being a waste of money, but at the same time, I went out with my brother, with my sibling and their friends, and like the only song I could find on the stupid machine that had a karaoke version that I knew and wanted to sing was "No Children" by the Mountain Goats, and Nat was astonished that I had heard of the Mountain Goats because we'd never talked about them before, and so it was like it was like a positive experience, even though the facilities were shocking.
Nice.
Yeah. I think they have a lot of K-pop there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the place I went to in Toronto was actually a Korean one. Like, I'm not,
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of karaoke in Japan. Like Agritsuko, that show is all about, karaoke in Japan. But the one I went to was a Korean one. That's why I said it's
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Like, they're just, it's just wherever you go. But yeah, we know it came from Japan. Like, yeah. I love karaoke. Yeah.
Aww.
I don't do it very often. I prefer I prefer hanging out with people that I know to do it. One of my favorite things, and this isn't exactly karaoke, but it's not exactly not, is when I had a PS3, I spent maybe $120 on songs for SingStar.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think the last birthday that I was able to attend in person of Matt's was a SingStar party.
Yeah.
Where we all hung out in Matt's basement and we sang music on SingStar and Matt punched a cake.
Yeah, man.
Oh.
Absolutely. And that's not exactly but I've gone to smaller rooms. I've done it in bars. I've done it all over, and it's a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun doing it, and I have probably more fun watching people do it. But when it came to SingStar, a couple drinks in, man, I had this long running contest with my friend Krista where we would try to nail All by Myself by Celine Dion. We try to get a perfect score in SingStar.
Holy cow.
And there's some notes in there that are really hard to hit. But man, loved it. Some of the best times I had were doing that, singing. So yeah, I love it. But Landor's right. Landon's right. I'm more of a musical theater guy than a karaoke guy, for sure. But doesn't mean I don't like karaoke. I like it. Yeah.
I mean, SingStar is karaoke.
Yeah, I remember
Exactly.
SingStar. Those were good times. Not with you guys, but I've with my brother-in-law and them. So, yeah.
I suppose I should
That was
probably
your
say
Yeah.
I would choose almost any non-karaoke activity over karaoke. That's not really out of hating karaoke. It's more about not wanting to do karaoke. I don't want to do it, but it's not because I hate it as an activity.
Alex,
I played baseball. I played baseball as a kid. I played Little League, and I hated doing it, and I might also hate it. Right?
Yeah.
I don't want to watch other people do it. I hated it enough that I might just hate baseball, full stop. I don't feel that way about karaoke. I just kind of don't want to do it.
Were you,
That's very
Alex, were you ever around for one of my SingStar parties?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alex was at that party that I was at.
We all sang Torn by,
Oh.
I'm going to remember her name here, Imbruglia, right?
Natalie
Imbruglia.
Imbruglia. Oh, amazing.
Yeah, it's
Next
good
level
fun.
Zero Con.
I liked it, except that it did have the thing that all karaoke machines do, where it did not have versions of any song that I wanted to sing or knew.
Well, yeah. I mean, the limitation of SingStar is that it only has the songs that I want it to have.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's totally true, and that I can afford.
Yeah, it was a limiting factor of my enjoyment, but not of the premise.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, we got more questions, guys. We gotta move on. Philip, did any of your school foreign language books have memorable storylines or recurring characters? Ours featured things like taxi driving families in Leeds for their English books, or kids uncovering stolen cat ring in France for their French book. We've had a lot of French books. I don't recall any recurring characters. you guys?
I'm a little excited about this because there is a chance that I have a real ringer. And it depends on whether I'm going to say a name right now, and it's going to reveal whether any of you have traumatic memories unlocked surrounding this name. And that name is Piruli.
No.
No.
None of you know Piruli. Oh, I don't even know if Piruli is Googleable. Piruli is a horrible puppet. He's a horrible hand puppet. He's got sort of like a triangle, like a rounded cone for a head, with a little pointy nose that's very red at the tip. And he teaches you French, and he's a hand puppet that your French teacher wears. And there are books where he is an illustrated character.
They puppet the puppet?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, this is like elementary school
distribute
French.
Piruli puppets for French teachers?
He has a cone head and a red shirt and a turtleneck and white hands.
Piruli. I didn't know if I could spell his name.
Yes, I just Googled it.
Holy shit. Yeah, Piruli. Here's the thing about me that not everyone would necessarily know. I actually quite like puppets. My mother made really beautiful handmade puppets. Real kind of like Jim Henson stuff. She had real sort of craftsmanship about it. And she would stage these spectacular puppet musicals for the church when I was a kid. And it was like one of the only things I recall liking about church. So I have like a real a place in my heart for puppets, because my mother would have these beautiful puppets that she'd made and put so much time in, and they were so like, and had such a ability to bring them to life. I fucking despise Piruli. I thought he was.
I was seeing this thing for the first time, and it is kind of repellent.
How do you spell this?
I thought he was Piruli.
Rouli.
Piruli.
He had songs, he had books, and I fucking despise that guy, because it's like, I think part of it is that he's only as alive as your teacher is good at puppetry. And the teacher's not even good at teaching French. So they're certainly not good also at puppetry on top of that.
Piruli, mon plus grand ami, c'est toi. Piruli, tu peux jouer avec moi.
Yeah.
That
yeah,
guy
man.
buys NFTs.
Jeez. He looks like those pictures when people put makeup on their noses to make that look like a face. That's what he looks like.
Oh, yeah. He's gross.
He's gross.
He's not like he's not like you look at
that
him.
That guy will corner you in a kitchen to talk about crypto
that's the thing.
for an hour.
You can't look at that guy and just immediately, like, you can't pick out one thing about him that's disgusting. It's his whole presence.
I actually remember
it's his vibe. It's rancid.
I remember Piruli being more horrible than that. He's distorted in my memory, so I definitely remember him looking like more demonic, and having like a longer nose or something like that. But I mean, you can look. I've spelled it out already. Piruli. Luke may feel enthusiastic about putting a photo up somewhere. But
yeah, I might.
He basically I
don't know if I'll be enthusiastic about it, but I might have to.
Because his head is approximately the same shape as a butt plug.
Yeah,
approximately, like a butt plug with a nose. He's got big red cheeks, and yeah. That's the only recurring character I can remember from elementary school French classes.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
Well, fortunately, he didn't like follow me into high school or anything like that, right? It was mostly just a buried childhood trauma that this question unearthed.
It looks like it was designed to discourage kids from enjoying learning French.
In grade 7 or 8, there was a story that the teacher gave out. It was a French language book that we were going through, and it was structured to have like French lessons in it, but it was a story that someone had written in earnest just as a French language story that just had been purposed for this thing. The problem was that it was surprisingly heavy in subject matter for a bunch of middle school kids to be learning about. And so it's like about a bunch of runaways, and like they meet a they run away on like a trip or something like that, and they interact with a bunch of like strangers, and one of the strangers that they meet is a prostitute who gives them condoms, saying, I forget what the French translation for it is, like, you need to take these condoms because AIDS will kill you.
What?
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an important message, but wow.
Well, the thing is, I don't recall it being like a bad story. It was like a surprisingly for the age demographic, it was a bit shocking, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I read some Barba Papa books in French. Do you guys remember Barba Papa?
Oh, I loved him.
I'm aware of it.
Yeah, Barba Papa means daddy's beard. But he was a big pink motherfucker.
Yeah.
And he could turn into everything.
He was great. I loved him. I loved that whole family.
Yeah, he had Barba Mama. Mm-hmm. He had his sons, Barba Bravo, Barba Bright, Barba Zoo, Barba Bo, and 3 daughters, Barba Lala, Barba Belle, and Barba Lib.
Barba Lib was orange and she had glasses. It was great.
She did.
Like women's lib, kind of. I don't know what that was, but I only sell those books in English, but I loved them because they could do anything. They're shapeshifters.
They would fuck around.
Yeah.
It was something else.
Yeah.
But that's about it. That's all I can remember. We had a couple of
I know
French
very
versions.
little about Barba Papa.
This is the first time hearing of it.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen pictures before.
No,
Like,
this is like beep and mask for me. This is astonishing.
He had a whole fucking TV show.
Yeah.
You could actually like type it in Google, and they had a fucking rad theme song, and Barba Papa would sit on his children and envelop them. Oh, yeah. Go check it out, guys. They lived in a fucking like house that was made out of spheres and holes. Mm-hmm. Oh man,
they made them.
Go check
remember? With clay, they would like puff themselves up and then make their homes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fucking awesome. And then there were people
tatting, which is like lace making. They would do like glass blowing. They did all kinds of stuff.
They would do all kinds of shit, man.
Yeah.
Fucking get on the Barba Papa train, kids.
The best. It's the best.
I'll also get on the
Barba Papa train.
Get on the Babar train while you're at it.
Mm-hmm. Them too.
Fucking Elephant King.
Yeah. What's that all about?
Hanging out in he was in the jungle. He's a fucking British elephant.
Trying to convince the French that the that royalty is not somebody that should be on the wrong end of a guillotine, huh?
There's so much. So yeah, there you go. That's all I can remember with that. All right, moving on. Unless Julia, you had one.
Well,
I don't know.
Just Telefrancais, which we had in English class, and it was there's this horrifying pineapple called ananas. And do you remember ananas? Telefrancais, bonjour, allo, salut, and it was this horrifying pineapple puppet. That
fuck me, that's worse than Pirelli.
Yeah, it's bad. It's real bad. I don't remember specific storylines, but it was horrific. And, yeah.
Oh, he's horrible.
Wow, Jesus.
I forgot about this motherfucker.
That's
I've
ghastly.
never seen this before.
God, the world outside my memory is such a fucking fever dream.
It's bad. It's real bad.
Oh my god, Julie, I completely forgot about this fucker.
God, that's
Oh.
so implicitly
this
worse
looks like
than puberty.
Yoda got an STD.
He's not pineapple
Or like
textured.
a Furby that like calcified.
Yeah,
He's got that
It's-
bone disease
it's-
that just makes your
it's like
bones
someone
explode.
fed a
Yeah.
Furby after midnight.
Yeah.
The scales
Yeah,
are
this
not.
is the gremlin version of a Furby.
Yeah, the scales are not pineapple scales, because pineapple scales are very angular. This guy has very round scales, which means what he is fucking nothing.
Yeah.
That is ghastly. That's
That is ghastly. Ghastly is the word for it.
I preferred the world in which I did not know about Anana from
Do the
Telefrancais.
French not want you to know their language? Is that the play here?
Télé-français. Télé-français. Allô, bonjour, allô, salut.
Je suis un ananas.
Wow.
You just say that
Oh,
all the
just-
time. Je suis un ananas.
It's hard to imagine this pineapple puppet being funny or endearing enough for me to love him.
He's not. Nope.
You can watch episodes of this
Yeah.
on YouTube right now.
I'm sure you can.
Right now,
Should
you
you?
you could go
No.
watch this. You could watch this motherfucker tell everybody he's a pineapple repeatedly.
Traipsing around, pretending to be a
he
pineapple
pretends too much,
and
I
not
think.
a Furby
Yeah,
gremlin.
Exactly.
Thank you for that astonishing piece
God,
of Canadiana, Julia.
I'm
I'm
so
so
glad
glad
we
we
didn't
did
move on.
not move on. Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, that is awful. All I got is the characters out of Minna no Nihongo, which was the textbook that we used when I was in university learning Japanese, and that was just, it was very mundane. There was this guy named Mike Miller who was a salaryman in Japan working at some computer related company, and all of the sort of people in his neighborhood, Gupta, and then like this German banker guy, and a couple of other like Japanese neighbors and stuff like that. And all I really remember was like Mike Miller was really bad at remembering what day he was supposed to put out what kind of trash and that sort of thing. So like, yeah, just the tribulations of like middle age, basically. Not much to it, really. They're just recurring characters and various sort of topical phrase-based Japanese learning lessons. So.
One thing that I think they underutilized when teaching languages in school was that they had like X-Men comics in the library in French, where you could just go to the library and read an X-Men comic if you were prepared to learn the French. There was one comic where it was some of the younger, more obscure X-Men who were like kids, and they were for some reason left in the care of Howard the Duck, and
Wow.
attacked by Man-Thing. And Howard the Duck set Man-Thing on fire with just like gasoline and a lighter because he has no superpowers. He's just a talking duck. And they all sort of managed to get away. And one of the younger X-Men turns to Howard the Duck and says, "Is that thing going to come back?" And Howard the Duck lights a cigarette and says, "When Howard the Duck burns you, you stay burned."
Oh.
Wow.
And I know that story because I gave a shit enough to read it in French. I think they underutilized that shit.
That's true. That's a good. It's a good.
Don't give me
Good
like
strategy.
Pirelli and Anana, right? Tell me what Howard the
Yeah.
Duck is up to in French.
Right? Yeah.
I was exposed a little bit to some like very young age targeted like comics and cartoons, sort of as a learning reference thing, like Doraemon and Sazae-san and stuff like that. But
those are charming.
yeah, no. Yeah, oh yeah, those are absolutely charming. I mean, like Nobita's a real little piece of shit, but Doraemon is still a fun show.
One thing I've noticed, I see a lot of Koreans who are learning English. They'll get like the novelization of like Boss Baby in English.
Oh Jesus! I didn't know there was a novelization. That upsets me a little bit. Actually,
isn't that messed up? I have no idea.
That is messed up.
I've seen it multiple times. I don't know.
That doesn't feel like the thing that would cross over into a novelization.
I don't understand it. I don't get it. But I've seen it. I've noticed it. I don't know what's going on. Anyway.
Does just every movie get novelized? Is that what I'm missing?
No, though,
here?
honestly, no. I think there's something to that. I think that it's probably some kind of contractual copyright thing you might have to do. Because I've read the Gremlins 2 novelization. Don't ask me why, but I did read that. Like,
that's fair. I have the Kroll novelization here. We've talked about reading it on the show before, but
I've read all kinds of novelizations of 80s movies. I would buy them at book fairs whenever I saw them, and you know what? A lot of them were pretty good.
I definitely read some like novelizations of like Star Wars media and stuff like that when I was a kid.
Star Wars had straight up just plain old novels that had nothing to do with the movie.
I read lots of expanded universe novels, but I also read some of the novelizations.
My mom had like the Star Wars novelization, like of like A New Hope.
Oh yeah, we had Empire Strikes Back at home.
Crazy.
When I was a kid.
The disappointing thing about the Boss Baby book for learning English is that there is a lot of like quality English literature. But that said, I did read that dumbass X-Man comic in French and not some piece of great French literature, of which there are many examples.
Oh yeah.
I
truly can't judge learning English from Boss Baby.
I actually wonder if that Boss Baby movie did really well in Korea.
It might have.
Like, I wonder if it did.
Things hit differently over there than they do here in many ways.
Yeah.
I gotta say the weirdest novelization I've read was probably the novelization of the NES game Blaster Master.
What is the story?
I got that one in a Scholastic book fair. Yeah. Kid loses his frog down a magical gateway, finds a thinking tank. That also has like in the case of the novelization, there was like this alien woman in the tank that sort of helped to guide him around, and she very obtusely misunderstood English, spoke perfect English, but didn't understand idioms. But yeah, that's pretty much all I really remember about it. But the video game of Blaster Master was the kid loses his frog, finds a tank, chases his frog around, finds out that his frog is mutated into an abomination, has to kill it.
Oh.
So, Luke, you are talking about the Worlds of Power books, right?
Very possibly. I don't remember specifically. All I remember is I got it at a Scholastic.
They were released by Scholastic in the 90s. And they were all novelizations of like different video games. I remember they had Ninja Gaiden. They had Castlevania 2. They had Blaster Master. What else did they have? Let me look it up.
There are some novelizations of old games where
it's got to be. I'm reading the sorry. I was just saying I'm reading the summary here.
Yes, Worlds of Power. I was right. There it is. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Alex.
Stuff like we talked about this a bit in the Wario's Woods playthrough way back in the day, but there are things that you kind of accept in a video game that are grotesque in real life, such as all of the things in Mushroom Kingdom having eyes because once they were people. Yeah.
Yep.
So I remember as a kid, the first game that I had was like I had a Sega Genesis, and I played all the classic Sonic games with my siblings. And so, like in elementary school at the Scholastic Book Fair, I got some Sonic the Hedgehog books. Not really novelizations so much as just like books that you could read that were like little like kids books about Sonic the Hedgehog, and they were hugely disturbing because it's like animals, like sentient animal forest creatures getting trapped in machines and turned grotesquely and permanently into robots. And it was just like existential body horror in like with like simple, but in simple words that a child can understand.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Sorry, we went out. We did a different thing. And we got one more. We got one more Crimson question. Maybe the last one.
Oh my gosh. Holy cow.
I know.
Oh,
Until the Crimson Diamond 2.
oh it's
Yeah,
forever.
that's true.
We're not going to be alive for that.
We're not gonna be alive for that. It's bad if you're not alive for that.
Oh god.
It would be scary if she wasn't alive for that and it's still released.
Yeah.
Oh,
Real scary. Do you guys have a favorite kind of rock? Stone rock, not music rock, or music rock, I don't care. But I'm that weirdo who will never turn down a touristy stand when you mine for gemstones. Do you guys have those in Canada? This is from Spivey Lou.
Yay.
Best friend of the show, Spivey Lou. Yeah. What do you guys? Do you guys have a favorite kind of rock? And Deledrius says this sounds like a question just begging for Julia to answer. It's so true. It's so true.
Should we do like the karaoke one? Have Julia go last?
Yes.
Yeah,
Julia
please.
should go
Yeah,
last.
okay.
100%.
Hundo P.
Alex, you gotta have a favorite rock.
Like I have a lot of like obscure knowledge about things. Julia and I went on a geological tour of Parsborough. I did learn quite a lot about like local geology. I was kind of serving in the capacity of a zombie pack mule because I had not slept the night before, so I didn't retain all of it. But I found it very interesting. I did not come away with it with a favorite rock. Like I would learn about like the sandstone and the basalt and the relationship between erosion and geology. I found all of it interesting, but no particular part of it like latched onto me as, ooh, this is my new favorite rock.
All right.
I like a good geode. I'll say that. That's not really a particular
geode.
type of rock, but yeah, I can appreciate a good geode.
All right. Luke, you got a favorite rock?
Yeah. I mean, like, not super specifically, but like, when I was a kid, and I don't remember, I think it was just a souvenir that my parents picked up, but they gave both my brother and I little sort of probably like golf ball sized polished amethyst that I remember liking quite a bit as a little kid. So, you know, I find amethysts quite pleasant. And also just sort of aesthetically, I do like, and I can't remember the correct name of them. I thought it might be basalt, but I think I'm wrong. The sort of rocks that naturally grow in like octagonal or maybe hexagonal spires, and sort of group together, and it just looks weirdly geometric and stuff like that. That's pretty cool. I like those, but I don't remember what they're
Giant's Causeway. I think those are basalt or basalt. Yeah. Giant's Causeway,
think you're right about
40,000
that.
interlocking basalt columns. Yeah. So yes, exactly, Luke. You were right on the money.
Cool.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah, that's badass. That just looks really cool.
Yeah, super solid
Aesthetically,
choice.
that sings to me.
Like RPG tiles, but naturally occurring.
Yeah. Well, I think I think there was a level in like Dragon Age Inquisition that like basically just stole the look of those, and I remember enjoying playing that level too. So.
Diamonds. No, I think for me, I think I like colored quartz. I like amethyst. But I think my favorite rock of all time, and I have a very small piece of it, is I got a piece of moldavite about 20 years ago. 15, 20 years ago. And moldavite is it is basically glass. It is like a glassish stone. And it was formed by a meteorite impact in Europe that happened millions and millions of years ago. And the material that was like, let me go to the thing here from the Wikipedia page. Material ejected from the impact crater included moldavite, which was strewn across parts of Germany and the Czech Republic and Austria. So, they would dig these pieces up, and they're like a dark forest green, olive green or bluish green. I have a really dark forest green one, and they're really fucking crazy because it's ancient space material.
Yeah, that rules.
And I love it.
Does it not naturally occur on Earth?
Because it happened 15 million years ago. It was because it's made out of the same stuff, right? But it's a type of tektite, which is, I believe, like a meteorite piece.
We also classified it as projectile glass.
Yeah. They were not similar in origin to sedimentary or igneous rocks. So they're it's very cool. It's very cool. I just love, it's an ugly chunk of forest green glass, and I love it. It's got a Mohs hardness of from 5.5 to 7, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay. So it would not streak the plate, or would it?
When I said earlier that I liked a good geode, I was thinking to myself that bismuth crystals do not form naturally, but I think I'm wrong about that. The coolest crystal shape that I know of is a bismuth crystal, the sort of like square, like a fractal sort of cubic iridescent pattern. But I think maybe they do occur in nature. If they do occur in nature, then that's probably that might be rock enough to qualify as a favorite rock.
Yeah. So anyway, there you go.
Not going to choose me a lab-grown crystal as my favorite rock.
No.
That is real cool. I forgot about those, but yeah, those, much like the Giant's Causeway, like that kind of like unusually geometric sort of pattern. Like I love that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Okay, Julia.
I'm also reminded, just briefly before Julia speaks, of by your space crystal. Reminds me of the adventure game Shardlight, which we should play one of these days.
Sure.
Yeah, because they have a bunch of sort of glowing green crystals like that in the game.
Mine doesn't glow.
That's all.
It doesn't glow, unfortunately. But
they are.
I wish it did.
Not yet. It doesn't, Matt.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
When the alien ships return, then it'll start to glow.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, now I'm very interested in hearing what Julia has to say.
Well, sure, I like a bunch of different kinds of minerals and things like that. And it was kind of hard. I was kind of like, what am I going to say? Because there's so many different things that I like. But if I'm going to go by the actual formal definition of what a rock is, which is a naturally occurring aggregate of more than one type of mineral.
Oh, hell yeah.
That's what I'm going to go with. Because something like an amethyst.
Let's get specific.
I don't want to but
no, I love it because it means all of us are wrong.
That's right. Like, we can all interpret whatever we want that word to be, because people will say quartz and amethyst and things. But I will go with the formal definition because I just nerded all over this game that we just played. So I'm going to nerd all over it and say that I'm going to go formally with, a combination of minerals aggregated into one kind of a substance. And I'm not gonna say like forever and ever this will be my favorite, but it's the one that I've talked about before on my channel, and it's one I really do love for a lot of different reasons. And I don't even know how to properly pronounce it, but it's like lapis lazuli, a lapis.
Okay. Yeah.
And the
Listen,
reason,
love that.
I
Such
love
a
it.
solid choice.
And there's a lot of reasons for this, and one of the reasons is how historically, for literally thousands and thousands and thousands of years, us as humans have like really cherished this rock and used it in all manner of the most exquisite artifacts. Like, there have been lapis lazuli mines as far back as like 7,000 BC. They've been mining this stuff in Afghanistan. 7,000
Yeah.
BC they were mining this stuff, and it's in Tutankhamun's mask, right? It's in like, you know, ancient Roman signet rings. They carve into this stuff, and as someone and also illuminated manuscripts, like that beautiful blue pigment in illuminated manuscripts, it was worth more by weight than gold when you know, monks were using it for illuminated manuscripts. Can you imagine being like a monk from the year of like 1100 or 1200? You're getting this pigment from Afghanistan. Like, it's incredible to go from that all the way to like, you know, Ireland or Scotland or whatever monastery you happen to be in, and getting to use this stuff to like illuminate your manuscripts. Crazy. And the reason that I love it so much particularly is because it is used as a pigment. You can crush it and purify it and make ultramarine pigment, which is an incredibly bright, saturated blue color that is also light fast, which is very unusual for pigments of any type before we were able to synthesize them. And you'll see this all over the place, and you know, especially in religious paintings, where you'll have like Mary and stuff. She'll have that blue shawl around her. And it was such a precious pigment that they would exclusively use it for stuff like that. And that's why when you see these paintings, it's almost like it's kind of too bright on the canvas. And it's because it's the only thing that didn't fade, this stuff. And it's so, I mean, I think artistically, like the artist would have intended it to, you know, there's other bright colors on that canvas, but this, we're talking 400, 500 years ago. Everything else went. And this stuff stayed. And it's a completely natural pigment. And it's incredible. The other component of lapis lazuli is calcite, which is white, pyrite, which looks gold. And so when you see this stuff, it's all veined with like this. It's not real gold, but like this gold color. The calcite, it has the streaks of white, fool's gold, and the lazulite, which is lazurite, which is this intense blue color. And it's just every piece of lapis lazuli, if you just have a piece of it, is going to be completely unique to any other piece. And that's another thing I love about it for being a rock. Just completely, it's so inextricably linked with all our most incredible artistic expressions all through the ages that I will say that it's one of my favorites.
I have
just made me want to go find a chunk of lapis lazuli.
That's such a good answer.
that's a really good answer.
I love it because
a chunk of it.
Yes.
It's you found something that is like historically significant, like artistically significant, and like objectively cool, and more closely meets the definition of rock than anything that the rest of us said.
Well,
yeah.
You know, well, I just made this whole game, so clearly I'm gonna be the biggest nerd about it.
No, I love it. That's exact. I couldn't have asked for more.
I love it when someone is an absolute pervert for something like very specific. You know, I love that about you, Julie. That's fantastic.
No, that's great. It's perfect answer.
I was so looking forward for you just knocking us all out of the park with your incredibly thoughtful answer.
Oh yeah, like that's the perfect answer to the last Crimson question of this game. Anyway,
I'm sad.
Wow.
It's over.
And to repeat a theme, though, speaking of ancient manuscripts, another adventure game that I think would be fun to play on the show at some point would be Pentiment.
God. Pentiment.
Yeah.
I swore. I love that game. Gosh darn it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great. And I mean, you know, neither Alex nor I were involved with it, but we have done some work with Obsidian in the past, so we have that little sort of grouping with them as well. So
yeah, it's a really cool thing that this a passion project from someone who's usually a AAA developer, right? So that's incredible for him to get the chance to do that. And yeah, there's just so much attention to detail. And it gets a mystery. We can say that much about it, I guess. 2D adventure game mystery. Like, of course, 100% up my alley for sure. So I'd love to play it someday. Again, I've already played it on my own.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So have I, all the way through.
I'm in.
Yeah, sounds great.
Guys, this was great. This whole freaking game was fantastic. I'm so glad we got to play it all the way through. And yeah. What a time. What a time.
8 years in the making.
It's hard.
Talking about
8 years.
Yeah.
Jeez. It's a lot.
Yeah, and we've been planning to play it. We were maybe the first Let's Play channel to plan to put it on our channel. And certainly, I don't know. I can't say with authority. Julia would be able to confirm or deny. I think we're the only Let's Play channel that recruited Julia to also play through the entire game with them.
That's never happened before. Like, I kind of sometimes should, go into people's chats if they're playing it and give them some help and do some Q&A or whatever.
Oh, I would expect that.
But like, nothing like this where I kind of just sit and we just kind of talk about and we, all that fun stuff.
The gremlin Furby.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
This is
it's kind of bittersweet.
Yes.
I'm sad that we're done. Honestly,
this is an incredible game, and you have made the world a better place for
absolutely
having made this. And it has been really cool to get to know you and hang out with you all this time.
But
so it is, it's bittersweet, like you say.
But this is not goodbye, everybody. God, no.
Not at all.
Julia's going to be sticking with us for some time.
As long as you're
we all agreed.
Absolutely. We all agreed.
Block and report. Block and report contact information. Just every app, block and report, block and report.
So what are we playing next?
So we have a poll up on Discord. It is not closed yet, but it will be closed when I edit this video. So it will have been closed by the time I am ready to publish this. Right now, the voting stands and has stood for a couple of days. Not a ton of votes. We've only had 14. So if you're on the channel and you're seeing this, it's too late. And you didn't know about it to vote. But you may, and I'll post a reminder. I'll do like an all or a note to everybody. But right now, 14 votes. The votes are between 3 series. There's the only 3 remaining Sierra mainline series that have not been played on Level 0 NPCs yet. And those are in order of low votes. So with 1 vote so far only is the Leisure Larry series.
Wow.
So it seems unlikely to win. Unless it miraculously gets 14 more votes, or I guess it'll only need 8 more votes to take the lead if no other votes happen at all. With 5 votes, Gabriel Knight being the next series up. And then finally, currently leading the vote with 8 votes is Conquests. So that's Conquest of Camelot and Conquest of the Longbow. So right now, the likeliest scenario is that it is Conquests.
Mm-hmm.
You will know at the end of this video because I will put a coming up next end slide. But for now, that seems to be the likeliest scenario.
Oh man, we don't even know. We don't even know what it's going to be.
Not yet. I mean, I could just close the vote and say it is Conquest if we really wanted to, but I'm gonna let it play out. I'm gonna see if there's any last minute upsets. If we get 4 more votes for Gabriel Knight to take over Conquest, or 8 more votes for Leisure Suit Larry to take the top spot.
I doubt people are voting that strategically, but there is potentially some wisdom in not saving Leisure Suit Larry for last.
Yeah, I agree.
Potentially.
But,
because, I think that we'll, I doubt it'll be our favorite series. I'm sure we'll have some laughs and we'll get through it or whatever. But the longer you put it off, the fewer games there are to go after it.
Also, What do we have any? Is there any more one shots that? Because we used to play
Oh
one
yeah, there's
shots in
plenty.
between. Remember, we used to play a one shot in between every. We did even all the way up to like Freddy Farkas. We've actually played a one shot game, Sierra game in between.
Yeah.
So maybe we should do that.
Absolutely. So we may end up doing a one shot, although we are running lower on one shots at this point. Let me just open up my little spreadsheet here, and I can tell you what we got left in one shots. Let's see, Sierra games checklist. So if I zoom in here, because I'm doing this on my phone. Mainline series, Conquest, Gabriel Knight, and Leisure Suit Larry, still not full. Plus, there are remixes and remakes and reboots that we will also eventually get to. Like Space Venture is out now, Hero U,
Gold
all
Rush
of those
2.
games. Gold Rush 2 and Gold Rush Remake, and also like the Odd Gentleman King's Quests.
Oh, yeah.
I think we've done everything in Mixed Up. So Mixed Up Mother Goose, Mixed Up Fairy Tales, and so on. There are the old Disney adventures, one of which was the Black Cauldron, which we've already done. Eco Quest.
Ooh.
Shivers. And there were a couple of mist lakes like Rama. And then there's some total one-offs, which were like, I'm looking through my list here.
Should we put these up for a vote? Should we make a list and get people to vote? Like, do we want to do the one shot game in between series?
I mean, there's an argument to be made that, although we're kind of playing it as such, Crimson Diamond is kind of is not officially a part of the Lorabo series. So it is a non-Sierra game.
100% right, actually. Yeah, maybe we should just go right into Conquest. Or whoever wins. Maybe Leisure Suit Larry could pull it out in the end. You're right.
Oh no!
Entirely
Is that
possible.
on purpose? No. Okay.
I've never played any of the series. Even if it is Leisure Suit Larry, I would have a professional interest in that piece of gaming history. Even though, there's probably elements of the humor that might not age super well.
There's a lot that
There are like full-on stand-up routines in those games, like Elo wrote.
Oh yeah,
Like a lot of jokes, like way more than you think.
Yeah, oh God. Yeah, I remember.
Also, like,
technically, there's also in the Sierra Oeuvre, there's like Betrayal of that Krondor and SWAT and other non-adventures. Incredible Machine, Dr. Brain, the Dr. Brains we haven't done yet. But yeah, sorry, go ahead.
The there are elements of like what was our horror month game? The
Phantasmagoria 2.
Phantasmagoria. We skipped parts of Phantasmagoria that we just didn't think were scenes that we didn't think were necessarily as well executed or didn't age that well. We can do the same in any game, If there's a section of Leisure Suit Larry that we don't feel that we can make funny, we'll just skip over that, right? Like, it doesn't have to be an unblinking glimpse at
It doesn't have
at
to
that
be
part
an
of history.
unflinching glimpse. I learned a lot from Leisure Suit Larry as a child.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. It led to some interesting conversations with my parents. But we could get into that when we play. But yeah, in the meantime, everybody vote. Thanks for sticking with us, everybody. through this. Not that
Thank you for joining us for the Crimson Diamond.
Yeah.
Congratulations again to Julia on releasing a fantastic game that, before we made it to the end of our playthrough, also managed to get to overwhelmingly positive on Steam. Looking forward to the next thing you do as well.
you.
But as long as you don't get sick of us, and it might happen eventually, Julia's going to be here helping us make it to the end of the Sierra catalog, hopefully.
It would be my pleasure. And it's been such a pleasure to share this with you guys and get to play it with you guys. And super good time. So I can't believe we can chalk this one now up to done and say, now what's next? That's kind of crazy.
Put a check mark next to it.
It's really cool. So thank you so much for doing this, and thanks for having me on. And I hope to continue on until the wheels fall off.
Yeah. And if you're watching this and you don't own this game, buy the game. Leave a review.
Do it.
I bought several copies for myself and others, and annoyed several friends until they bought it for themselves.
Aww, thanks, Alex.
you folks should all do the same.
Yeah.
Ideally, buy your own copy so that your review also contributes positively to the rating.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because if you receive a key from somebody else, it doesn't count.
I have not written a review yet. I was waiting for this.
Aww.
Now that I've finished it, I will write a review. And it's going to be quite positive.
Oh.
I should hope so.
Thanks, guys.
All right, everybody.
Yeah.
Join us hopefully next week. You never know with us, but let's go for it. We've had enough time off, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we took 2 months off almost, so
Yeah.
I'm not burnt out, that's for sure.
No. All right, then that's the
Can't
plan.
say that's necessarily going to be the case forever, but yeah.
No, doing this weekly is good for my mental health.
Oh, me too.
And
Absolutely.
I think we all benefit from it. And I think, clearly based on the comments I'm seeing in the Discord and the comments I'm seeing in the comments, I think it helps the PCs too. So
Everyone wins.
Everyone wins. All right, everybody. We'll see you next week. Stick and stay.
Stick and stay.
Really into you.
Stick and stay, everybody.
Stick and stay, everybody.
Find yourself a tomorrow.
Have yourself a future.
Bye. I love you. Bye.
What was it? See you in the noon
What?
times?
That's new.
That's not a thing.
I think that might be
It came up randomly at the end of one episode. Matt was absolutely.
I think that might be in the Apocrypha. That might not be canon.
Yeah.
A canon
See you in the
parting
noon times,
note.
everybody.
All right, everybody, figure it out.
Figure it
Oh
out.
my god.
Figure it out, everybody.
Figure it out.
What did I say about the wheels falling off?
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.